This is the Craigslist scraper, and it has a really simple interface, and it is just built to do one thing, and that is, of course, scrape Craigslist listings. So when you come to a section in Craigslist, like here I am in Antiques for Metro Detroit, you get all of these links. There's 100 of them typically, and in each of these listings, of course, there's certain data that somebody may want to get. You can click here and you can get someone's phone number and you can get their email address, and that's typically what people are looking for. So that's what this scraper does, is it allows you to paste in a URL like this, or if you wanted to perform a search in here first, like say you only wanted uh, some sort of wooden antiques. So you might type wood. And so you can then take this particular search here and paste it into here, for example. And it's going to, of course, load this page. It's going to get all of these links. It's going to go into each listing, and it's going to look for certain data. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to look for a contact or a reply button. And if it finds one of these, it's going to go there and it's going to look for a phone number and an email address. And then it's going to come back to the listing, and if it hasn't found a phone number, it's going to use regular expressions to try and find a phone number in here, or again, regular expressions to try and find an email address in the actual body of the listing itself. So if I go ahead and just run this, I'll show you what happens. Oops. Sorry about that. Let me just paste this in here and do that. Now this is it uses a HTTP post plugin, and it also uses the file management plugin, but of course the file management plugin is free, whereas the HTTP post plugin is not free. It scrapes pretty fast. It does about 2 to 3 listings per second, and keep in mind each listing is doing usually it's doing 2 different calls for that. So it's really doing like 6 to 9 requests per minute, or I'm sorry, per second. So there we go, and it's finished. So of course the important part is what data you're going to get here. And so you're going to get the title, and then you're going to get, this is typically going to be the city. It's whatever they put in brackets. As far as I know, Craigslist recently changed their HTML, so it's a little harder to say what the city is, but typically it's whatever's in the brackets. So I put it in here so that you could say sort this column if you wanted to. Then we're going to have email addresses, phone numbers, and of course the actual listing itself. And this is only formatted a little funny because of the way that it's displaying here. The data is all correct. It just, for some reason, it displays if you have 10 numbers in a row on the right versus the dashes on the left, but that's normal. And so as you can see, most of the data here is filled out. If it's not filled in, that's because they didn't provide a phone number or an email address, or it was a very odd format. The phone numbers, as you can see, we can have things like dashes in them. We could have one dash and no second dash. We could have no dashes at all. This one has only one parentheses. This one has 2 parentheses. It comes in, it'll scrape extensions. It does many different formats, but sometimes people just don't add in anything, or they put it in a weird format. Like in this case, we don't have either, which is rare. Most of them are going to have some info, but if we look at the posting, there is no button that says reply or anything. There's nothing. There's a website, but that's it. And if that's important to people, I can always add that in as well. But most of this stuff usually it's gonna have a Craigslist email. And like I said, if it doesn't find a Craigslist email, it's going to look for a normal email. But the first thing it looks for is a Craigslist, so it's going to come here first. And if this doesn't exist, then it'll go through here. And if there's an email, it will look. But the point is only to give you one email. So if you load it up into some sort of email program, for example, you don't want to send to the same listing twice. So it's only going to give you one. So that is the Craigslist email scraper. If you have any questions, let me know.